The necklace arrived without explanation. It was waiting on the kitchen table when Claire Hawthorne came home from work, sitting among the mail like it had always belonged there. Brown paper, twine pulled tight, no return address, no note, just her name, Claire Hawthorne. It was written carefully in neat black ink, not rushed, not decorative, patient. Claire stood there longer than she meant to, staring at it. She told herself it was probably a mistake, a misdelivery, something meant for someone else in the building. She didn't put it back down, and that was the first mistake. Inside the wrapping paper was a velvet box, black and worn thin at the corners. When she opened it, she found the necklace coiled neatly inside. Dark silver chain, thick links, seamless. At its center hung a black stone, oval and smooth, dull in a way that made it hard to focus on. It didn't shine, it didn't reflect. It seemed to drink in the light around it. Claire lifted it. It was heavier than it looked. Not uncomfortably so, just enough to notice. Just enough to remember. She didn't feel afraid, she felt curious, and curiosity, as it turned out, was enough. That evening, Claire showed the necklace to her family. Daniel, her husband, turned it over in his hands. "Feels old," he said. Like, really old. Their daughter Lily thought it was beautiful. Their son Noah stood in the doorway and said nothing. When Claire lifted the chain toward her neck, Noah spoke. "Don't put it on." Everyone laughed. Claire smiled and told him not to be silly. It was just jewelry. Maybe Daniel had ordered it and forgotten. The chain was cool against her skin. The stone settled just above her collarbone. The necklace slid into place with a faint sound. Not metal, more like pressure easing, as if something had finally settled where it belonged. Claire touched it absently and smiled. Noah stepped backward. That night, Claire slept without moving. Daniel noticed because she always shifted in her sleep, always stole the blankets, always murmured half-formed thoughts. This time she lay flat on her back, hands resting over her stomach, breathing slow and perfectly even. Daniel reached out and touched her arm. Her eyes opened instantly. "Yes?" she said. No grogginess, no confusion. Then she just closed them again. In the morning, she didn't remember the exchange. She said she hadn't dreamed. She wore the necklace to work. She wore it to bed. She wore it in the shower. When Lily asked why she hadn't taken it off, Claire shrugged. "I forgot." By the third day, Claire stopped humming while she cooked. By the fourth, she stopped talking to herself. By the fifth, she stopped reacting when people entered the room. She listened, watched. When spoken to, she paused before answering like she needed a moment to find the right response. Daniel noticed but explained it away. Stress, work, fatigue. Noah watched closely. He noticed how often his mother touched a stone in her throat. How sometimes she stared into space, eyes unfocused, as if listening to something far away. On the sixth night, Lily hugged her from behind and froze. "Mom, your neck looks weird." The chain had sunk slightly into Claire's skin. Not enough to bleed. Enough to disappear. They tried to remove it that night. Daniel searched for a clasp. There wasn't one. No seam, no break. Just continuous metal. Soap didn't help. Oil didn't help. Warm water didn't help. When Daniel reached for tools, Claire pulled away sharply. "Don't," she said. The word was flat, final. Daniel stepped back, startled. Claire blinked, her expression softening. "I'm sorry, I just don't like that." Noah whispered, "It doesn't want to come off." No one answered him. That night, Daniel woke to the sound of whispering. Claire was speaking in her sleep. Not words, not quite. A low murmur with rhythm, but no language. Daniel recorded it, and when he listened later, the audio distorted near the end. Claire's voice slowed, stretched. Underneath it was another sound. Breathing, slow, content. Noah saw it first. Claire stood in the hallway staring at herself in the mirror. Her reflection lagged. When she lifted her hand, the reflection followed a moment too late. When she blinked, the reflection corrected itself. Claire smiled at Noah like nothing had happened. He locked his door that night. By the end of the second week, Claire stopped initiating conversation. She answered when spoken to. She ate when food was placed in front of her. She slept. She did not react. Doctors found nothing wrong. Blood work normal, brain scans inconclusive. She's responsive, one doctor said. Just very quiet. Daniel stayed up late searching. Antique forms, obscure collectors, old scanned documents. He found a reference buried in a digitized journal. No photos, no illustrations, just a line. The necklace feeds on the animating force. When the vessel is emptied, it releases. Another line followed, handwritten in the margin. It does not kill, it finishes. Daniel stopped breathing for a moment. Claire's eyes stopped tracking movement. She stopped reacting to pain. She sat for hours unmoving, breathing slow and steady. The necklace had sunk completely into her skin now, the chain no longer visible in places. On the final night, Claire did not come to dinner. They found her sitting upright in bed, eyes open, staring at the wall. Her breathing was steady, too steady. Daniel touched her face, and she didn't react. The necklace loosened, not suddenly, gently. It slid free of her skin and fell onto the bedspread with a dull, heavy sound. Claire slumped forward, unconscious, but alive. Claire never woke up. Her body healed, her breathing stayed steady, her heart was strong. The doctors called it a coma. They couldn't explain the absence of higher brain activity. The necklace was gone. Not broken, not cut. Gone. Weeks later, Daniel found the velvet box missing from the closet. No signs of forced entry, no explanation, just absence. Somewhere else, someone would come to find a small package waiting. Brown paper, twine, a name written carefully on the front, and a necklace that was very patient. It doesn't kill, it finishes. If this story stayed with you, you know why. Like, subscribe, and come back again. Some things don't need malice, they only need time. Good night.